Chest is about to get freaking pumped. But I don't know, I kind of feel stupid even saying that. It's like, what's the point in even saying that it's going to happen? I know it is. I don't need this little self affirmation to make sure it happens. But I'm, I don't really know what I want to start with. You know, I could do some inclined barbell, but part of me kind of wants to lean towards inclined Smith. So I guess I'm a little bit torn. And I'll think about it. Either way, a couple of sets of heavy pressing like that. At this gym that I'm going to, they don't have dumbbells over 110, which is not ideal once you kind of reach a certain level of strength, just because it kind of cuts out inclined dumbbell as like a really heavy movement. You know, I could go back and do inclined dumbbell with the lightweight towards the end of the set, but I kind of don't even want to. You know, at the end of the lift, I'm more prone to want to do like a pec fly or like cable press rather than, you know, dumbbell bench. Because I do like the squeeze on it, because the fact that the two dumbbells are, you know, free to move in open space as you do the rep, you don't really get any rest, right? When you're holding it at the bottom, you know, you're obviously you're freaking holding the weight in the the deepest position, right? Ton of tension on your chest, and then as you bring it up, even once you're fully extended, the weight still wants to fall off to the sides, so you're just constantly flexing your pecs. So that's kind of one of the benefits of the inclined dumbbell bench versus barbell. Because with a bar, even the Smith machine, you know, your hands are in a fixed distance from each other, so you don't get that converging action like you'd get with, you know, maybe a hammer strength press. You know, really even just sort of looking at it like that, you know, each pressing movement for chest, at least each main one, you know, dumbbell, barbell, Smith, and machine, you know, sure, they're doing the same thing, right? For the most part, you're just flexing your pecs, going from a deep position to a flex position, right? But just kind of hits it in different ways. So, you know, if you love incline barbell and you get a huge pump from it, and you've been getting some, you know, chest gains, you know, keep spamming it, whatever. But for the most part, I'll kind of end up getting into, I don't want to say ruts, but sort of phases. Like, I've gone through periods of the year where I didn't even want to touch incline barbell. It just felt weird on my shoulders. I just did not like it. You know, I was just spamming incline dumbbell instead. Same thing with Smith machine, same thing with barbell. You know, it's good to change it up. But after a couple of heavy sets of pressing, some pec flies and some cable press, chest is going to be fully pumped, so we can check that shit out. Side delts is well, for my purposes, it's the secondary muscle of the lift today. Because, you know, for me, my shoulders are a little bit, I don't want to say overdeveloped, like they're not jumping out at you, but they're pretty much on par with everything else on my build. And I kind of want to put the brakes on them a little bit, just so my arms can sort of match. You know, because when I do a back double bicep, like the pose, you know, my arms are just, I kind of want them to be a little bit bigger than my shoulders are around, right? Because if you can imagine, you kind of have this circle here of your bicep and your tricep, and then you've got the circle of your shoulder. When they're pretty much in tune with each other, like the same size, I think that's when you got something going on. Or maybe your arms are just a little bit bigger. So, side delts is just going to be a bunch of side laterals. You know, I could do standing dumbbell, I could do single arm leaning dumbbell or the machine. But no matter what I do, every movement's the same. All I'm doing is going from here to here. In terms of the pre-workout meal, it's 4 o'clock now. I had a pretty solid breakfast, about 10 egg whites, plus some like peppers and ham, a little bit of normal bread toast. I wouldn't have minded some keto bread, but what are you gonna do? So, and afterwards, my mom made a potato soup that I thought was pretty good. So that's all I gotta freaking say. You know, about 3-ish minutes out from the Y. Start my warm up, and then we can jump onto the first working set. All right, a little bit of time has passed. Had to do the classic post-workout ritual of sitting on my phone in the car for about 10 minutes. And now I gotta go. Freaking hungry, man. I got a pound of ground beef. It's calling my name, coupled with probably the majority of a bag of fat-free cheddar cheese. Add a little bit of low sugar barbecue sauce on top, and I will call that something. That is gonna be pretty freaking good. Right? So, proteins. Honestly, mainly protein, with the ground beef. If you get a lean, I guess you can't really call it a lean cut because it's ground beef. Whatever. You get a lean package of ground beef, push it upwards into the fucking. Jesus Christ, I can't fucking see. My fucking windshield is all steamy. Probably because I'm so sweaty. No, so when you get up into like 96% lean, 98% is the leanest I've seen for the ground beef. When you get up there and you strain off some of it in a strainer, you get it all ground, whatever, pour it into a strainer, kind of shake the fat out. You can probably get about half out. You're not going to get it 100% lean like you would with, well, I guess not really a meat, but if you're eating egg whites or even like, we'll get these big cuts of just turkey breast from Costco. That's pretty. When I track those macros, I don't count the fat. There's probably a little bit of fat in there too. But I guess basic premise, what I'm trying to say is I'm going to have a lean meal. I'm not extremely concerned with post-workout carbs. I'll probably have a little bit of something, maybe some. I really couldn't even tell you. Maybe I'll have some more of that potato soup that my mom made. That was pretty freaking good. But I need some protein, stimulate some synthesis. You get the deal. Oh, I'm freaking tired, man. I am freaking tired. I took a big nap midday today as well. I didn't really sleep that good last night because I got hit with the, let's just call it the couch. What's the word? Whatever. Post like right after I finished my last meal, or the last thing I ate, really, I just laid down on the couch in the living room and I accidentally fell asleep. So I got like 4 hours of kind of uncomfortable couch sleep before I actually started, real sleep in my freaking bed. So I feel a little bit unrested. But, even though it wasn't on, I guess what I would call my perfect A game, it's still a sick pump. Chest especially. If I do a chest workout and I don't really push it, and I could, no, not that I don't, but let's say hypothetically, if I didn't really push it, I'd be able to tell. The pump would be noticeably less intense. But with shoulders, a little bit of a muscle, I guess I'm kind of lucky with. All I really have to do is those 8 sets, get a solid burn, and then I can re-rack it. And that seems to be enough stimulus. So, you kind of have to base what you do based on the results that you get on specific muscles. If for whatever reason your back is just ahead of the game, back is huge, nice and wide, thick, whatever, compared to the rest of your body, then guess what, man? You can chill out on back a little bit. Cool. It's your strong suit. Or if your freaking biceps are really slacking, or if you got a really flat chest, and not just in general, I mean relative to everything else in your particular build, you're going to have to give it a little bit more attention, maybe try some different shit, hit it different amounts of times per week, with different amounts of heavyweight, lightweight sets, squeezing, whatever. Figure out what's going to give you a solid pump, give you a decent amount of freaking muscular fatigue. And then if you do something like that for a couple of months, if you notice an upward trend and your chest starts growing, right, keep pushing it, keep doing what you're doing. But if you're not noticing any change, right, you got to look at what you've been doing and say, okay, I guess this has not been freaking working. I got to change this shit up. If you can't come up with a new kind of training method or whatever, ask some buddies or ask the dude who's big in the gym for some tips. He might not have the perfect answer, but the more information you can sort of funnel into your brain and try to analyze, the better. So, plan for me now is just go home, chill. That's the end of it. Cardio in the morning, of course, followed by back and rear delts tomorrow. I'll definitely throw some calves in. I would have done some calves today, but they just closed by the time I was done with shoulders. Calves, make sure you hit them a couple times a week at least. You know, I was about to get into a little bit of a cardio rant. I'll let you rest today. I won't make you deal with it, but only one more week-ish. I'm already, oh my goodness. I'm getting excited. I'm getting freaking excited. You know, it's cool walking around when I'm leaner, or, well, I guess I don't get too soft on my bulks, but when I'm, in a deficit, it's cool walking around. I feel like I've got kind of a lighter midsection because I don't have so much food in my stomach at all times. Feel a little bit more agile. Not that I really have to do anything that requires agility, or that I would, but you get what I'm saying. I feel a little bit lighter on my feet, but I also like feeling bulked too. I feel like I'm just walking around like a tank, fully carbed up. I got enough lipids in my system from all the fats, be it from, animals or fish oil, whatever, stuff like that. Just being bulked up, having a ton of energy from all the food that you're eating. Calories. What do you think calories are, man? It's units of energy. If you're pumping some energy and you're gonna get some kind of result out, that's for sure. So, final note: if you're considering starting your bulk and you're kind of on the fritz about it, maybe just start the bulk when I start the bulk. That could be a little bit of a motivator for you. But if you're not seeing any changes on the scale, if the scale isn't going up, then there is only one factor which is stopping you from gaining weight, and that is lack of freaking calories, right? You got to eat food to grow. You got to eat calories above your maintenance level to gain weight. Now, I would say muscle, but you're going to gain a little bit of fat with that muscle. It's kind of just a little bit of a freaking rule about it, but the enlightened lifter can accept that. The enlightened lifter can accept the fact that when he bulks up and gains weight, be it muscle plus strength, really just let's call it beef, he's going to have to, take the softness with that as well. And then vice versa. If you're trimming down, you've got to kind of know that losing a little bit of strength and size is just part of the deal. So don't focus on the negative aspects. Focus on the positives. Big and strong on the bulk, or lean and veiny on the cut. That's what you should be thinking about. So I'm getting ready. Well, actually, I'm already thinking about that big and strong part of the bulk. I'm going to try to push those thoughts into the back of my mind so I don't have to be, tormented by waiting. I almost feel like I'm tracking a fucking package. You know how you just always fucking reload it. Ugh. I'll try not to think about the bulk so that it'll feel like it starts sooner. But that's pretty much all I gotta say, yo. Yeah, man. That's it. I'll see you next time.